back for no reason. This is vindication for a lot of people who have really suffered. You know, I can't breathe.
Updated on what you're learning about this.
All right, guys. President Joe Biden announced Sunday that he will end his presidential re-election campaign, bringing an abrupt and humiliating and humbling conclusion to his half-century-long political career. Scrambling for the White House race less than 4 months before Election Day, Biden at 81 is now backing Kamala Harris to replace him as the Democratic nominee, which I don't think will happen. All right. If anything, the Kamala Harris is doing worse in the polls than Joe Biden. Okay, they're two peas in a pod, man. Like, well, let's not separate the two. They're both ass. All right, Kamala Harris is hated more than Biden. Okay. I personally think that Newsom, no, I don't think they're going to play the Newsom card. That's 2028. 2028 is going to be the Newsom card, right? There's a guy that they've been throwing around, guys. Let me pull his ass up. They've been talking about him all week, man, like randomly. This guy's extremely pro you-know-who, them boys. And they've been propping his ass. See him like right there. He's always right next to Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. This guy, Josh Shapiro, guys. They've been propping the shit out of him the whole week, guys. I'm seeing him on all these interviews and CNN and shit. And now they're like, this guy, I think, is going to be who they're going to run with. Josh Shapiro. And for the VP, it's going to be, it's iffy, man, because they need, I would say, a black female as a VP, or they need something like that, man. So some people are throwing Michelle Obama in the mix. Other people are talking about Gretchen Whitmer. The VP's tough, but I think this is who they're going to go with. Just because I've been seeing some shit, like his name's been being thrown around everywhere. This guy, I don't think they're going to do the Newsom card yet. Newsom's going to be 2020. He's going to be like the Donald Trump of the Democratic Party, where they're going to be so behind him, and you know, it's almost going to be like a Donald Trump. People are just going to support him, you know, because let's keep it real. He has the presidential look. He's going to attract the female voters. He's into it with China. He knows how to talk. He knows how to bullshit. So, he's like the Donald Trump of the Republican Party. All right. But let's get into this, man. Van Jones crying like a bitch on CNN, dude. This guy's always crying and whining and shit, man. Like, I am getting sick of even listening to his opinions.
We also have Van Jones joining us. He is CNN's senior political commentator and a former Obama administration official. And Van, obviously, you and I were talking a lot about this dynamic and how this was ultimately going to play out when we were covering the Republican convention in Milwaukee last week. And with this news, this entire campaign has just upended itself.
Yeah, there's a lot of political stuff. The Democratic Party is a family. At the end of the day, this is a family matter. You know, Joe Biden's body may not be as strong as it used to be. His language skills may not be as sharp as it used to be. His heart is as big as ever. His heart is as big and as true and as strong. And this is the difference between a politician and a leader. He made a selfless decision, and people are heartbroken. Even people who are pushing for this to happen. It's kind of like when your grandpa, you got to take the keys, and everybody, you got to take his keys, you got to take his keys, you got to, and he's fighting, and everybody's so frustrated, and then you finally get the keys back, and then you just cry, because this is somebody that you love, this is somebody that you care about, this is somebody who was there for you, this is somebody you wouldn't be here without him, and you have to take something from him. Now, this is not, look, this politics is politics, but this is a human moment for one of the great humans in America. This is a huge moment for him, for his family, for all of us who love him, for all of us who wanted him to get across the finish line. But if you're a young person watching this is leadership. This is patriotism. This is what it means to put the country first, and put the party first, and put the cause first. When your arm gets tired, you let somebody else finish pitching the game. That's what Joe Biden has done, and he's done that for all of us. And so I just want to say, I don't know who's going to be the VP, the non-VP. I don't know anything about politics. I just know that I love this man. I care about this man. It was painful every day to sit up here and talk about him like he's just some problem for the party. Wait till we get to the convention. You're going to see people crying, standing, screaming, cheering. He may not get a chance to talk for 10 minutes. We finally get a chance to put our arm around this guy. He did the right thing for this country. He did the right thing for this party. All of us are going to be in this situation someday.
Sure about
and I hope that,
man?
we take a moment to honor this man and to love this man. I love Joe Biden. I appreciate what he's done. And
Van Jones is the most performative guy I've ever seen, man. He'll sit there like, dude, nobody, bro. They are begging this dude to jump out, to get out of the race, okay? Like, people are super PACs, all these endorsements, lobbyists are pulling their money out. They're like, literally, that's the reason he had to leave, is because they said, look, we're not funding his campaign anymore. The guy has to bounce, okay? He could barely put a sentence together or last in a debate for more than 30 minutes, you know? So people pulled them. Once they pull the money out, it's over. You know, when these super PACs and these lobbyists and shit start saying, yo, we're not funding your campaign, you could love the guy, you could cry for him, you could do whatever the hell you want to do, bro. That's it, bro. He can't run anymore. You know, it's over. There's no one's pushing there's no money involved, you know? So, you know, all that shit he's doing right now is performative as hell.
A lot of people are heartbroken today. Even if it's the right thing, it's still just horrible.
Well, and Van, I mean, on that point, which is a great point that I think resonates with a lot of people, of the personal nature of a decision like this. We often talk about things in a harsh political lens of who's going to fare better, what this looks like. I mean, I also have to imagine what it's been like the last 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks since that debate, to see, you know, what the reporting has been behind the scenes of Democrats who wanted him to get out. On Friday night, the reporting was that he was seething over, you know, seeing big allies of Pelosi come out and call on him to get out, even upset to a degree with his former running mate, President Obama. And just to see, you know, what he personally has witnessed and these calls from his longtime allies, people who certainly praise his legacy, but said, you know, it's time for this decision to be made.
But have we all gone through this with our own family members? Like, yeah, he's hurt, he's pissed.
By the way, Obama was really pushing for him to pull out, and he ended up, there's a report that he lashed out at Obama, and Obama did not even endorse Kamala Harris. So, you know, he was the first person that come out and say, yeah, no, it's not going to be Kamala Harris either. I'm not endorsing Kamala Harris. The only people who did were, like, you know, AOC and some of these other, you know, a few other people in the party that don't really have any say. But Obama and some of the main players are like, no, we're not. Kamala Harris isn't going to be a part of, you know, we're not endorsing her either, you know. So, like I said, man, it's not going to be either of them, and I don't think it's going to be the Clintons either or Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is going to be like he's like a 2028 candidate. He's the guy that, you know, they can't pull the Newsom card right now. So I'm guessing it's going to be look, it's that Shapiro guy. There's a few other candidates that have been, you know, names that are thrown around. I don't think it's going to be Gretchen Whitmer, and not Newsom. Newsom's 2028, guys. But yeah, Obama is not endorsing Kamala Harris. He was the first person to come out and say, we're not doing it. You know, it's just impossible.
A lot of us wouldn't have careers. I wouldn't have a career without Joe Biden. Joe Biden picked me out of the puppy pile. He's the person that everybody says you work for Barack Obama. No, I worked for Joe Biden when I was in the administration. I was on his middle class task force. You know, all of us have known that embrace. All of us have gotten those phone calls and those cards when bad things have happened to us. So, you know, that's a family. That's what it is. You know, he's hurt now. He feels let down. He feels that his friends turned on him. In the fullness of time, he'll recognize that it was done out of love and as loving a way as possible. But at the end of the day, some people, and I don't want to mention any names and ruin this day, but some people will back their leader no matter what. Some people, they don't care how many people this man has hurt and how many laws he's broken, no matter how many bad things he's done. That's our leader. We're going to back him no matter what. But this party is not like that. This is not a cult. This is a political organization. And we believe in these principles. And if somebody is sick, if somebody can't do it, there's no shame in that. There's nothing wrong with that. If somebody can't do it, that's okay. And what you see with a Joe Biden, yeah, everything was falling apart around him, but he could have stuck it out. There were people in this party who wanted him to stick it out. There are people in this party right now who are mad.
He could have stuck out what? He could have stuck out. Dude, the guy couldn't even finish a 1 hour debate. You know, he couldn't even put a sentence together, man. What are you talking about, sir? Stuck out for what? Like the entire world, Xi Jinping and Putin are laughing at Joe Biden, just some of the comments that he's just been making. It's like, what are you talking about, bro? Nah, he had to leave, and this is a perfect time to pull him out, man, because if you're gonna make you're gonna pick a new candidate to run within like 2 months and it's nearing, you don't have enough time to reorganize yourself, and it's just it had to have been earlier, but I don't know why they waited last minute, that's kind of strange. So it's interesting what's gonna happen, man. The DNC is 3 weeks from now, so
he did stick it out. Don't act like it was all on one side. It wasn't about the donors. It was about, could this man hold together all of us anymore? And when he realized he couldn't, he did the right thing and he passed the baton. That is leadership. Pelosi did the same thing with Hakeem Jeffries. That's leadership. That's responsibility. That's what America's supposed to be about. I love Joe Biden. You have people on both sides of the fight in the party who are crying right now, who can't believe it right now. This is not a normal time, y'all. This isn't just politics. This is a moment in time to honor someone who for 50 years put this country first and sacrificed and sacrificed and sacrificed and sacrificed and sacrificed. And today, he's sacrificed again. That's Joe Biden. I love Joe Biden. This country should get around Joe Biden and help our president through these last few months.
Jamal Simmons, you worked in that administration as well. I wonder what you make of how Van just laid out what a personal decision this was for President Biden to make after facing these calls for 3 weeks now, sustained calls from his own party. And obviously, you worked with him, you worked with Vice President Harris. I wonder what you make of that.
Yeah, listen, as I started out, it's a very sad day. I have heard both Van's sentiments and feel them, right? I mean, there's nothing I found after the assassination attempt last Saturday, when Joe Biden went on television to tell us what was happening. I know people had different feelings. I felt a little easier about it, right? Knowing that Joe Biden was in charge, because here's somebody who was going to be willing to put the American.
Lord, all right, man. So they're just going to keep caping for the guy, man. Like look, man. It's embarrassing, guy. Like, imagine your grandpa, right? Like, imagine his niece and nephew, like, looking at him like, hey, grandpa, you're going up there, you're making a fool out of yourself. Wouldn't you tell your grandpa or somebody that you care about, like, hey, it's time to just step down. Like, we don't like seeing you being embarrassed like this. Everybody's laughing and stuff. That's disrespectful, right? And then his wife got on there after his debate performance, right? She came out and literally disrespected the guy, kind of poked fun at it, treat him like he was a fucking child, like, he needs a diaper and shit. So he probably does, low key. But she was like, congratulations, Joe. You answered all the questions. You did well. You answered all the questions. And everybody's like, whoa, like, what? Who says some shit like that? Like, you should be the one that should be like, you know what? No, I'm not letting my husband, get on stage and make a fool out of himself, and then people could start making memes and shit. Xi Jinping and Putin could take a look at that and start laughing and fucking, come on, man. These guys are performative as hell on CNN, bro. Like, they just sit there and want to act like this shit. Dude, you guys are happy. DNC is happy as a motherfucker, that Biden has finally listened to his donors and his sponsors, like, to drop out. They're excited as hell that he did that. They've been begging him for weeks.